Hi there, and welcome back to the Achieve Intentional Transformation podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Leonie H. Mattison, and as always, it is a blessing to be on top of the earth with you. Thank you for the gift of your presence, your time, and your contributions. Today's episode is a brief leadership resource I created in direct response to the feedback I received after publishing my Forbes Business Council article on thinking deeply as a leadership discipline. Many leaders reach out with a practical question that I believe deserves a practical answer. And the question that emerged is this: how do leaders embody thinking deeply under pressure, especially when timelines are tight and consequences are real? This episode is designed to support leaders who are navigating disruption in real time while still being accountable for decision quality, organizational trust, and durable execution. And so in the next few minutes, I will share a simple guide that offers 6 questions leaders can use before, during, and after disruption. These questions are intended to strengthen clarity, surface assumptions early, and protect trust while decisions are being made. My friends, in my experience, thinking deeply is most effective when leaders understand that it begins in the body before it becomes strategy. And what I mean by that is, when leaders are dysregulated, urgency can begin to feel like truth. Assumption can solidify into decisions without being examined. Speed can become substitute for clarity. In those conditions, organizations often move quickly while coherence quietly weakens, and leaders later inherit the cost through misalignment, rework, and fractured trust. I am the biggest advocate for thinking deeply because thinking deeply interrupts that pattern. And it does so early by helping leaders stay steady long enough to interpret reality before shaping it. If you engage with my work, you know I talk a lot about my grandmother. And so as I was processing all of your feedback, my subconscious took me back to my roots. And I realized, recognize, and respect that I learned this principle of thinking deeply long before I entered executive leadership. My grandmother taught me through quilting that you cannot rush stitching and still expect the quilt to hold. What she taught me was that when you pull too hard, the thread knots. When you ignore tension, the seams weaken. And when you force alignment while the fabric is still shifting, the pattern distorts. I didn't know then what I know now, that my grandmother was showing me that the strength of the final work depends on how well we respect the tension along the way. And so disruption, from my perspective and what I'm seeing today, does something similar in organizations. Disruption reveals stress points, exposes weak seams, and it also tests whether the system can hold under pressure. This is why thinking deeply is not hesitation, my friends. It is how leaders protect trust, preserve alignment, and sustain human capacity while the system is under strain. And so, after the article, leaders did not ask for more philosophy. I read through all of your comments, process your questions, and I believe that you're asking for a method you can use right now. And so I created a short question guide that offers 6 questions designed to strengthen decision quality before and after disruption. This guide is structured to help leaders slow internal reactivity without slowing execution, while also making hidden assumptions visible and ensuring trade-offs are named rather than carried silently by your teams. So if you saw the carousel on LinkedIn, you already have the visual. And so in this episode, I want to give you the leadership intent behind it so you can apply it immediately. I will also share the link to the PDF so you can download and go ahead and work through and with the questions that I will share with you today. So here are the 6 leadership questions that you can use while you're going through disruption, or if you're under pressure. You can use these. I've structured them for before, 2 for before, 2 that you can ask yourself during, and 2 for after. Question 1. What problem are we truly solving, and what would success change? This question helps leaders distinguish between surface urgency and root cause. It ensures that the organization does not commit resources to treating symptoms while the underlying disruption continues to deepen. Question 2. What assumptions are driving our urgency, and which ones are untested? This question will help you to separate facts from fear. It ensures that urgency does not become an examined decision filter, and it also prevents reactive thinking from becoming policy, practice, or even your culture. So those are the first 2 questions I invite you to ask before disruption hits. Now, what do you do while you're navigating the disruption? So let's look at the 2 questions you can ask while you are going through disruption. Question 3. Who is most impacted, and who has not been meaningfully heard yet? This question strengthens trust by ensuring that decisions are informed by lived experience, not only positional authority. It also reduces downstream resistance by engaging the voices that will carry the impact of the decision. Question 4. What are we prioritizing right now? And what are we explicitly not prioritizing? This question strengthens decision integrity by making trade-offs visible. It also prevents teams from absorbing hidden costs later through confusion, morale decline, or misaligned expectations. Now let's look at the final 2, which is after the disruption hits. So question 5. What did we learn that should change how we lead next time, not only what we do next time? This question helps convert outcomes into wisdom. It strengthens maturity by identifying repeat patterns, not only procedural gaps. So leadership evolves rather than cycles. And the final question, where did the system resist? And what does that resistance reveal about readiness, trust, or capacity? This question helps leaders treat resistance as information rather than defiance, because resistance has a way of revealing what the system is communicating about alignment, capacity, and conditions that require sustainable change. So those are the 6 questions that I believe will help you as a leader to answer the question of how do you embody thinking deeply under pressure, especially when your timelines are tight and the consequences are real. These questions, they matter because organizations really fracture from one decision. I know you can all agree that more often, organizations fracture from repeated decisions made too quickly and also from unspoken assumptions. So thinking deeply will help to strengthen your decision quality early enough to prevent costly repair later. It also supports leaders in building alignment that lasts, and it increases the likelihood that people would commit with clarity rather than comply with caution. In closing, if you are leading through disruption right now, I want you to know that this guide was created to serve you, and I want to help you to think deeply so that you can protect the quality of your progress. Thinking deeply does not delay progress, my friend. And so if you want the tool, it is in the carousel on my LinkedIn profile, and I'll also drop it in the show notes today. I would also genuinely love to hear your perspective. Of the 6 questions that I just shared, which question do you believe leaders skip too quickly when pressure is high? And if you want to go deeper into this discipline, I invite you to listen to the Think Deeply episode on this podcast. Also, you can check my website or even Forbes for the Think Deeply article. I will also drop the link in the show notes. Listen, share, continue to provide your feedback, okay? So again, I invite you to listen to the Think Deeply episode within this podcast series and read the article that introduces the larger framework. Grab a copy of my book, The Thread. It is on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, wherever books are sold. Grab a copy of the book and read so you can deepen your understanding of the framework as well. As always, thank you for the way you lead. And thank you for choosing depth in a world that rewards speed. I truly appreciate you. Really, really, really appreciate you. And so, as always, please share this podcast with someone who's navigating disruption right now. Leave a review and continue to share your comment with me. My friend, you're doing the work, and I am so very proud of you. I'm happy that I'm able to walk alongside you on this journey of intentional transformation. So again, I'm Dr. Leonie H. Mattison, and you've been listening to the Achieve Intentional Transformation podcast. Until next time, take care, my friends.